welcome back to the kitchen. Today, you know, Thanksgiving is only a few weeks away, and I think we need to start focusing on that. So I'm going to cover a question that I get all the time. What are some of the essential spices you would have on hand for the holidays if you could only afford a certain few? Let's go see how this all comes together. Today we're going to talk about the top spices that you should have in your arsenal for holiday cooking. Now this is just, we're looking at what you would want to go out and buy if you don't have it to make a great holiday meal. These are what I consider the essential spices for a turkey dinner, or even a roast beef dinner, or duck, or anything like that. We're not talking about baking or cooking. Essentially, we're talking about whatever you're going to want to put your hands on to make your bird, your stuffing, your sweet potatoes, your green beans, your vegetables, everything from that to your desserts. And these are the things that I have come up with for you. These are what I consider to be the top holiday cooking essential spices. We're going to start off with the very basic of basics, salt and pepper. Even if you can't afford anything else, salt and pepper are super budget friendly, and you can mix them together in a little jar and have them ready for sprinkling on just about anything. What I have done here is created a salt and pepper blend, and it's 6 tablespoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of butcher's cut pepper, and 1 tablespoon of fine ground pepper. Now I had those 2 different kinds of pepper on hand. If you don't, feel free to use what you have on hand and just mix them together in a little bowl, put them in a jar, and you're ready to go. Sprinkle at will. I also have garlic powder, and I have onion powder, because I feel like these two things go hand in hand, and I never make a recipe, well, I won't say never, but it's very seldom that I do a recipe of a savory dish where I'm not using both of them in tandem. So they're like kissing cousins, and I think they're both really important. So onion powder and garlic powder, right up there with salt and pepper. You can also do a house blend seasoning. I know Paula Deen does this a lot, where she will add garlic to the salt and pepper blend and call it house seasoning. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Next up, rubbed sage. It's definitely essential for making a turkey, a roast beef, even a duck. It's important to throw it in with your stuffing. Pork goes really good with sage. So those are things I think when you're making or planning a holiday meal, sage is really up there, along with thyme. And all of these things are easily available at your grocery store, and you can get them in smaller containers if that's what's in your budget. Thyme goes a long way. Tiny little container of thyme will last you months. But just make sure you put it in your hand and you kind of scrunch it up like this before you use it, because that's going to help you release some of their essential oils before you put it in your dish. And if you can't afford these 2 things, definitely grab yourself some good quality poultry seasoning. This is my homemade version. I will leave a link down below to where you can get the recipe for it. And you can also find great commercial blends, Bell's being one of them. There are a couple really great traditional old-time brands of poultry seasoning that you can get your hands on that are going to be great. Bell's comes still in a tiny little cardboard box, and it has a very festive label on it, and they haven't changed it in like 150 years. So look for that one. I will put a link down below to a shopping list where you can get all of these things that I'm sharing today, and you can just make an Amazon order and have them available for you to use when the holiday rolls around. Our last one right here is pumpkin pie spice. Now you can get pumpkin pie spice, you can get apple pie spice, you can go out and buy cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger, and you can mix them up yourself. But if you're on a budget, I say grab the pumpkin pie spice, because you can use this in pumpkin pie, in apple crisp. You can throw it in a blueberry pie. You can throw it in a peach cobbler. You can put it in oatmeal cookies. You can use this pumpkin pie spice in a lot of things. Now, I really feel like it is doing it a disservice by calling it pumpkin pie spice, because it is super versatile. It is really a sweet baking blend, and I think that is what is most important right now. So if you're on a budget, these 7 things you see in front of you, I think are going to be your go-tos. I have a lot of people ask me, What are the things that you would definitely have on your shelf if you only had a little bit of money? And these are those things. So I know that coming from the Spice Queen herself, looking at 7 little jars may not seem like a lot, but when you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of money, spices are expensive. When you get through your whole list and you go down the spice aisle and you find out that a little container of cloves is going to cost you almost $10, it makes you want to cry, especially if you're on a budget.
I say have them check the Latin food section too, because sometimes they're a lot more cheaper there.
That's a good idea.
The same spices.
Rick brings up a really, really good point. If you live in an area where you have like a Latin market, or if you go to the Latin section of your grocery store, for instance, in my area, the Piggly Wiggly and the Food Lion are regional chains. They have little Latin sections in their store where they have spices that are very, very affordable. Much more affordable than they are in the spice aisle with the big major name brands. And they come in smaller options. You can get them in little bags or in little containers, and they're usually much, much more affordable. And you will find like whole cinnamon sticks and nutmegs and allspice berries and things like that. But also you will find the blends and as well, and at very, very good prices. Thank you, honey, for reminding me of that, because that was a really good thing to remember. I'm always going to the Latin section of the grocery store because they have great, great things there.
You should hear how excited she gets.
I do. It's really sad. That is my top 6 or 7 spice recommendations on a budget for holiday cooking. I hope that this helps you if you didn't know where to start, or it helps give you a guideline or a reminder if you've been cooking for a long time and maybe you just need to refresh what you have on hand. So I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my kitchen, welcome. Always a pleasure to have new friends join me. I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button and come back and visit me again soon. If you are a tried and true member of the Noreen's Kitchen family, please remember to go hit that bell notification button, as well as set your YouTube homepage to your subscription feed so that you don't miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation of my personal top 6 or 7 essential holiday cooking spices, and I hope that you give it a try, and I hope that you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.